In a small village, nestled deep in the mountains, lived a Zen master known throughout the world for his deep wisdom and unshakable peace. People traveled from far and wide to seek his counsel, hoping to learn the secret to happiness, purpose, and true fulfillment. One day, a young man, a scholar, brilliant and full of pride, made his way to the master's humble home. He was eager, impatient even, because he believed he already knew much about the world. This scholar had spent his entire life studying. He had read every book, mastered complex theories, and was considered a genius by his peers. But despite all of his knowledge, something was missing. He didn't feel the peace he sought. He didn't feel wise, only restless. He believed that meeting the great Zen master would finally complete him. And so, he knocked on the door, brimming with confidence. The master welcomed the scholar with a warm smile and invited him to sit. Without hesitation, the scholar began to speak about his knowledge, his accomplishments, and everything he had learned. "I have studied philosophy, science, religion, psychology, everything," he said. "But I still feel something is missing. I want to know the secret to wisdom and inner peace. Teach me, master." The master, still smiling, quietly began to prepare tea. The scholar continued to speak about his ideas, his successes, and his beliefs, his voice growing louder as he listed all the things he had already mastered. All the while, the master said nothing. He simply listened, patient and calm, as the young man went on and on. Finally, the master poured tea into a cup for the scholar. The cup filled quickly, but the master kept pouring. The tea reached the top, then spilled over the edge. Still, the master poured, and the tea ran down onto the table, dripping onto the floor. The scholar jumped up. "Master! Stop! The cup is overflowing. It can't hold any more." The master stopped and looked at the young man with kind eyes. He set the teapot down and said softly, "Like this cup, your mind is overflowing with everything you think you know. How can I teach you anything if your cup is already full?" The young scholar froze, his mouth half open in disbelief. He was stunned into silence, the weight of the master's words sinking in slowly, like a stone dropped into still water. "What do you mean, master?" he asked, confusion and humility replacing his earlier confidence. "I've spent my whole life learning, and yet, you're telling me I've been doing it wrong." The master looked at him with a knowing smile. "It's not that what you've learned is wrong, but that you are too full of it. You are holding on to your knowledge so tightly that there is no room for anything new. No room for true understanding." The scholar felt as though the ground had shifted beneath his feet. His whole life had been built on accumulating knowledge, mastering facts and ideas. And yet, here he was, feeling more lost than ever. The master continued, his voice calm and steady. "You see, knowledge can be like a great weight. The more you carry, the harder it becomes to move. You've come here asking for wisdom, but your mind is too crowded with everything you think you already know." The young man lowered his head. For the first time, he realized how much he had been holding on to, his ego, his achievements, his endless thoughts and assumptions. He had been so busy proving how much he knew that he had forgotten how to simply listen. "True wisdom," the master said, "comes not from knowing more, but from being open. To receive wisdom, you must first empty your cup. Let go of what you think you know. Only then can you truly understand." The scholar sat in stunned silence. The noise in his head, the endless chatter of thoughts, began to fade. His mind, for the first time, felt quiet. And in that quiet, he realized something profound. He had been searching for answers in books, in theories, in the opinions of others, but the truth he sought wasn't out there. It was in here, in the stillness he had been avoiding all his life. With a deep breath, the young man looked up at the master. "I understand now, master," he whispered. "My cup was full, and I couldn't see it. But I am ready now. I am ready to learn." The master nodded, his smile warm and full of understanding. Remember this, the master said, wisdom does not come from filling your mind, but from emptying it. It is only when we let go of our ego, our fears, our need to always be right, that we create space for something new to enter. Only then can we truly see the world as it is, and not as we expect it to be. The young scholar left the master's home that day, not with more knowledge, but with something far greater, a new understanding of what it meant to truly see. He returned home, not seeking to fill his mind with more, but to embrace the power of emptying it, allowing life itself to be his teacher. We live in a world that tells us to fill our minds with more information, more opinions, more distractions. But sometimes, the greatest wisdom comes from letting go, from creating space within ourselves for new possibilities, new insights, and new peace. So ask yourself, is your mind too full? What can you let go of to create room for what truly matters? When we stop clinging to what we think we know, we open the door to something far greater, clarity, wisdom, and a life lived fully in the present moment. Empty your cup, and watch what happens. If you enjoyed this journey, please subscribe, like, and share this video for more uplifting content that encourages a fulfilling and joyful life.